Here's something real lo-fi. I didn't borrow a Bill Burger term, but also really good music from the girly sound.
Everybody, welcome back to the All Wool Fiber podcast. My name is Ellie if you're new here, and thank you so much for joining me today. I didn't really have a whole lot to say for this vlog. I just kind of wanted to check in and say hello. I have been super grinding in school, so there hasn't really been a whole lot of time to knit or to sit down or film or anything like that. But now that the weather is warming back up and my garden's starting to become productive again and there's more daylight in the day, it feels like now there's a good time to pick back up. I guess the two biggest things that have changed in my life since I last filmed, I have a schacht matchless spinning wheel and I just absolutely love it. It's been just such a joy to learn, and I want to make a whole separate video on that a little bit later. And the other, I guess, big life update is that I chopped all my hair off. It was just becoming a bit too much with being in the hospital almost every day of the week, and just I just was really craving a very utilitarian hairstyle where I could just wake up and go, where I could be in a patient's room and my hair is not, flying all over the place. So anyway, it's been really great. So it's been a nice fresh change as well. But there were really just two things that I wanted to talk about in this video, and they're both just little tiny mini life lessons, I guess, that I've been having recently that I thought would be nice to share with the greater world. Firstly, related to spinning, the whole theme, I think, of the video I want to make for spinning is the importance of daily practice, but in a very microscopic way. And I mean that in the sense that I think when you're learning something new and you get really excited about it, at least this is how it is for me, I can spend hours on end working on something and almost torturing myself until I get it right, and just wasting a lot of my energy on the process of learning. And something that my mom suggested to me, and I think she had seen this from something else, but we got our spinning wheels at the same time, and she was suggesting that when I got my wheel, because it can be such a frustrating process to learn how to spin, she suggested only practicing for 5 minutes a day. And no matter how excited you are or how much progress you think you might be making on the first week, really just keeping it to 5 minutes. And that totally changed my entire experience for spinning. I think that if I hadn't have done that, I would have given up a lot sooner. Not that I've given up now, but I would have probably dropped it almost immediately, because spinning is very much something that takes time to learn the feel of. It's very similar to learning how to hold tension when you're learning how to knit. I think for a lot of people, that is the worst part about learning how to knit, is tension and how you're going to choose how to hold your yarn. And because it's just such an individual process, it's not something somebody can teach you a technique, absolutely, but everybody, there's a reason why gauge exists, and it's because we all have our own individual way of holding yarn. And it's same thing goes for spinning. And so I really dedicated myself to this daily practice of, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes a day. And it was so cool to watch the fruition of daily practice unfold in my life. And also just, it felt really good to show up for myself every day in that way. And it kind of changed my routine for a little bit about the way that I even saw my daily life and how much 5 minutes really does make a difference in your broader day. So anyway, I just share that for anyone who might be learning how to spin as well, or really that applies to pretty much anything. If you're new at really anything, exercise, knitting, spinning, cooking, whatever, just that 5 minutes a day of showing up is really impactful. So anyway, just wanted to share that little tidbit. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was something that I was thinking about today. I was showing earlier in this vlog my garden, and I was out there. This is the second year that I've been gardening, and it's been really fun to actually have real produce this go around. When I first started gardening, I don't know where my head was at, but I would plant one tomato plant, one bell pepper, one whatever, and then I would maybe get like 2 harvests from that, and then it would just end because there wasn't enough plants. So this go around I really grew a lot more. And it's been really, really fun. Every time I get to go to my garden, there's new stuff popping up. There's new arugula, there's new lettuce, there's new snap peas. So I was just harvesting that this morning. And on my drive home, I was thinking about how much I wished that I had a proper kitchen. And I wish that I had like a house and not an apartment. And I wished that I had this big outdoor kitchen that I could cook this beautiful produce in. I worked on a farm last year that had a big outdoor kitchen. I've just been obsessed with it since. And I have a big tendency in general to yearn for my future. And I think especially with my graduation coming up in December, and my life's gonna change a lot, and I'm gonna have a lot more time and resources to be able to live out some of these dreams. So it's a little bit hard for me to appreciate the present moment at times. But I was thinking on the way home about how much I wish I had this lifestyle or whatever. And then I got home and I was walking up my fire escape, and I have this little tiny balcony that has a table and chairs and a couple of things growing in pots. And it was really nice out, so I was like, I'm just going to wash my produce outside. So I brought my stuff out, and I was washing my produce out. And then I was like, I'm going to bring my cutting board out here. So I did, and I ended up making my whole lunch outside, which I filmed in the beginning of this video. But it really had me thinking about all the ways that we hold ourselves back from living the life that we want to live because our environment doesn't look like what we're picturing it to look like in our yearning visions, if that makes sense. And maybe not everybody feels this way, but I think when you're an artistically inclined person or an aesthetically inclined person, it can be really easy to postpone a way of life until it looks the way you're expecting it to look. And it was really lovely to be able to have this little experience cooking outside, and it made me appreciate what I do have in my life, and it really made me appreciate where I live. And so all of that to say, I have a lot of dreams of one day owning property and having a farm, and I certainly don't even have a backyard right now, but just even compromising by, you know, having a community garden plot or whatever, which is what I have, and I feel really lucky to have that space. Just kind of working with the resources that you have and appreciating the day-to-day is something I've been thinking a lot about recently. So anyway, I hope that helped somebody and it felt applicable to somebody out there, because it's just something I've been thinking about a lot. But anywho, I'll go ahead and show you really quick what I'm knitting on. This is I think it's called the Versal sweater or the Versa sweater. This has been one of my very first knitted pieces that is not in a neutral color. I tend to gravitate towards a lot of undyed yarns, particularly wool yarns, and this is a Japanese brand called Noro, I believe, and this is a blend of silk, cotton, wool, and linen, and I think viscose, is that how you say that, viscose? But I have just been loving knitting on this, and I love the stripes that this yarn created on the sweater. It's just so unbelievably beautiful. The collar is a fold-over collar, but honestly, I like it both ways. I'm glad that I'll be able to have the versatility of wearing it either way. But I'll have to include some shots of me wearing this as is. I don't know if this is relatable, but I always get tempted to just leave it short-sleeved whenever I'm knitting a sweater. Because the short sleeve is always way cuter than I am anticipating it to be. But then, you know, once I get over the desire to leave it short sleeved and I actually work on the sleeves, then it always feels worth it in the end. That was just my little check-in. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. It's been a couple of days. I just have to show you these beautiful, beautiful flowers. All of my updates right now are very blue. But I got these delphiniums from the farmer's market. I have a fun knitting update. I just actually deleted Instagram off my phone, so normally I would share these sort of smaller knitting updates over there, but I think I'm gonna have this be my primary platform of social media because I just love long form content. But anyway, this is the sweater thus far. I got the bottom ribbing done and bound off. I'm really, really excited about how this fits, and I'll go ahead and insert a couple of clips of me wearing it. I'm really excited about the neckline, that it can be both a turtleneck and a roll neck. And yeah, I'm so excited to start working on the sleeves of this piece. I think it's just going to be so versatile once it's done. These are my little updates for now. I am about to make some chai tea. It's a Sunday evening. Normally I work Saturdays and Sundays, but this was my first Saturday and Sunday off since March. So needless to say, I'm pretty happy to have the evening to just get ready for the week. I'm gonna pull out my planner, do some planning, and yeah.
If I should bother dating unfamous men, and then you said you're lucky to even know me, you're lucky to be alive, you're lucky to be drinking here for free, 'cause I'm a sucker for your lucky pretty eyes. And then he said, do you wanna be a polyester bride, or do you wanna hang your head and die? Do you wanna find alligator cowboy boots they just put on sale? Do you wanna pack your things and fly away from here? Princess, do you really wanna pack your things and fly